We tell ourselves that we keep things because we are prudent. We tell ourselves that holding on to that box of Tangles, those jeans from 2016, or that kitchen gadget we used once is an act of preparation. But let's cut through the noise and start with a statement that might make you uncomfortable. Your clutter is not a result of laziness. It is not a result of being disorganized. Your clutter is the physical architecture of your anxiety. It is your fear of the future fossilized in plastic, fabric, and cardboard. We don't fill our garages because we love boxes. We fill them because we do not trust ourselves to handle the unknown. I need to confess something to you. I want to tell you about the box of dread. 3 years ago, I moved apartments. Now moving is the ultimate truth serum. You can't lie to yourself when you are physically lifting the weight of your consumption habits. I found myself in the back of a closet staring at a heavy plastic bin taped shut with 3 layers of duct tape. I cut it open and inside I found a graveyard of potential. There were cables for electronics I hadn't owned since the Obama administration. There was a half-finished knitting project I started when I thought I was going to be a knitting person. There were travel-sized shampoos from a hotel I stayed at 5 years ago. And as I stood there knee-deep in dust and regret, I realized I had moved this exact box unopened to my previous 2 apartments. I had paid movers to carry it. I had paid for the square footage to store it. I had mentally tracked it. And for what? For a scenario that never happened. I was hoarding trash for a catastrophic future that existed only in my head. I felt a profound sense of shame, not because I was messy, but because I realized I was valuing these dead objects more than I valued my own living space. It begs the question we are going to explore today, a question that sits at the intersection of your wallet and your soul. Do you own your possessions, or does the fear of a hypothetical future own you? At what point does saving for a rainy day actually just ensure that you are living in a permanent storm of clutter? To understand why we do this, we have to look at the water we are swimming in. We are living in a unique paradox in the United States right now. We are arguably living in the most convenient time in human history. You can tap a piece of glass in your pocket and have a charging cable, a specific spice, or a pair of pants delivered to your doorstep in 24 hours. The supply chain, despite its hiccups, is a miracle of abundance. Yet mentally, so many of us are operating with a Great Depression operating system. We have inherited a generational trauma regarding scarcity. Our grandparents saved aluminum foil and rubber bands because they had to. The supply wasn't there. We saved them because we are afraid the abundance is an illusion. But it is not just history. It is the relentless weaponized machinery of modern marketing. We are sold the illusion of success. You are told that a successful adult is prepared for anything. The just-in-case mentality is the engine of consumerism. You are told you need the bread maker just in case you take up baking. You need the guest room fully furnished just in case people visit, even if you hate hosting. We use material objects to soothe our insecurity about our competence. We buy things to bridge the gap between who we are and who we think we should be, and the cost is astronomical. The self-storage industry in the United States generates nearly $40 billion a year. Let that sink in. We are buying houses we can't afford to store stuff we don't use, and when we run out of space in the house, we rent a concrete box miles away to keep the stuff visiting. We have normalized living in warehouses rather than sanctuaries. We accept the visual noise, the dust, and the claustrophobia because we have convinced ourselves that getting rid of something is wasteful while completely ignoring the massive waste of our most precious resources, our peace, our focus, and our present moment. Let's dissect this. Let's walk through the 7 specific categories of just-in-case items that are stealing your life, and let's dismantle the lies we tell ourselves about them. The fantasy self-wardrobe. We all have this section in our closet. It's the clothes that do not fit your body or your lifestyle right now. This includes the jeans you wore 5 years ago when you were 20 pounds lighter, the cocktail dresses for galas you never attend, or the high-performance hiking gear for the person you wish you were on weekends, even though you realistically prefer brunch and Netflix. Why does the brain cling to these? Because getting rid of them feels like admitting defeat. It feels like grieving the death of a potential future. You keep the skinny clothes because you believe that seeing them hanging there will motivate you to lose weight. You keep the hiking boots because they signal that you are an adventurous person. But here is the psychology of what is actually happening. Every time you open your closet and see those items, you are microdosing shame. You are reminded of what you are not. You are reminded that you failed your diet or that you didn't go camping this summer. These items are not clothes, they are bullies. They are physical manifestations of your inadequacy. The hard truth is that this just-in-case stash is toxic to your self-esteem. You are waking up every morning and starting your day with a visual reminder of your perceived failures. Furthermore, clothes degrade. Elastic rots. Styles shift. By the time you lose the weight, you will want to celebrate with something new and modern, not slip into a relic from a past decade. You are suffocating your current self to make room for a ghost. I want you to ask yourself this. If you were shopping right now with your current body and your current bank account, would you buy this item? If the answer is no, why are you letting it live rent-free in your sanctuary? The swap here is simple but profound. Keep only what fits and makes you feel powerful today. Trust that if your body changes in the future, you will be resourceful enough to clothe that new body. Then, dress the person you are, not the person you were or the person you hope to be. The artifacts of obsolete technology. This is the drawer, the bin, or the entire shelf dedicated to cables, old phones, broken laptops, and mystery remotes. We keep these because tech feels expensive. We remember paying $600 for that phone 5 years ago, so throwing it away feels like throwing away $600. We keep the cables because of a vague, nagging fear that a device might break and we will need that specific cord to save the day. This is the sunk cost fallacy in its purest form. The value of that old phone is not what you paid for it. It is what it is worth now, which is likely zero. The hard truth about technology is that it has converged. Everything is moving toward USB-C. Wireless is the standard. Keeping a stash of proprietary cables from 2010 is like keeping a stable of horses just in case cars go out of style. You are hoarding for a world that has already moved on. This clutter creates a high level of low-grade background stress. It is visual static. It makes finding the one cable you actually need, the phone charger, an infuriating scavenger hunt. Here is the question to post in the comments. When was the last time, honestly, that you dug into your mystery cable box and actually found a solution to a current problem? Or do you usually just buy a new working cable online because you can't be bothered to untangle the mess? The swap is to limit yourself to a live box. Keep one spare HDMI, one spare USB, one spare Lightning. That's it. Recycle the rest responsibly. If a bizarre emergency arises where you need a firewire cable from 2004, eBay exists. You don't need to be the warehouse for Best Buy's history. The culinary apocalypse. I am not talking about a sensible pantry for a week of meals. I am talking about the 3 cans of pumpkin puree from 2 Thanksgivings ago, the exotic spices you bought for one specific recipe and never opened again, the bulk buy items from Costco that are slowly going rancid because you are a household of 2, not a cafeteria for a platoon. Our primitive brain loves food storage. It signals survival. A full pantry soothes the lizard brain that remembers famine. But in the modern context, this is often just waste disguised as thrift. We buy in bulk to save money, but if you throw away 30% of it because it expired, you didn't save anything. You just paid to store garbage. This just-in-case mentality leads to decision fatigue. You open the pantry and it is full, yet you feel like there is nothing to eat because the usable food is buried behind layers of aspirational ingredients you will never use. The cost here is literal waste and health. Spices lose their potency. Oils go rancid and inflammatory. Flour can harbor pests. You are not preparing for a famine. You are preparing a feast for weevils. We clutch these items because throwing away food feels like a sin. But letting it rot in the dark is the same sin, just delayed. Ask yourself, are you running a home or a museum of condiments? Does this food serve my body or does it just occupy my shelf? The swap is the shop, the pantry challenge. Before you go to the store again, commit to eating through your back stock. If you find something you refuse to eat even when you are hungry, toss it immediately. That isn't food anymore, it's clutter. The someday hobby gear, the unfinished knitting projects, the watercolor set, the woodworking tools still in the shrink wrap, the guitar gathering dust in the corner. We hold on to these tightly because they represent the Renaissance man or woman we want to be. Buying the gear gives us a dopamine hit almost as big as doing the activity. When you bought that yoga mat, you bought the feeling of being a healthy person. When you bought the paints, you bought the feeling of being an artist. But when you don't use them, the object transforms. It shifts from a symbol of hope to a totem of guilt. They sit there and whisper, "You never finish anything." They transform a leisure activity into a source of obligation. A hobby should give you energy, not drain it. If the sight of your craft corner makes you feel tired or guilty, it is no longer a hobby. It is a burden. The hard truth is that interests change. It is okay to try something and realize it isn't for you. Holding on to the gear doesn't make you that person. Doing the activity does. If you aren't doing the activity, the gear is just sediment clogging the stream of your life. Here is the interactive thought. Does this item support who you are today? Or is it an anchor to a past interest that you have outgrown? It is okay to outgrow things. The swap, the 2020 rule. If you can replace the item for less than $20 in less than 20 minutes, let it go. If you decide to paint again in 5 years, treat yourself to fresh paints. Give yourself the gift of a fresh start rather than the burden of a stale project. The information security blanket. This includes old magazines, instruction manuals for your toaster, piles of receipts from 3 years ago, and university textbooks. We keep these just in case we need to reference them. We are afraid of losing knowledge. We are afraid that the moment we throw away the manual, the washing machine will break, and we won't know which button to press. But this is a pre-internet habit. We are living in the age of Google. You can find the PDF manual for your toaster in 3 seconds. You do not need the physical paper. The receipts, unless it is for taxes or a warranty, it is trash. The magazines, you will never read them again. They are heavy, they attract dust, and they are literally yesterday's news. The textbooks, knowledge evolves. That marketing textbook from 2008 is not a resource. It is a historical fiction novel at this point. The hard truth is that keeping physical information signals a lack of trust in your ability to find answers. It creates a visual heaviness in your home. A stack of unread magazines is a stack of unmade decisions. It tricks you into thinking you are learning when really you are just warehousing paper. Here is the question. Are you keeping this information because it is useful or because you feel guilty for not having read it yet? The swap is digitization. Take a photo of the receipt, download the manual. And for the books, if you haven't referenced it in a year, donate it. Let the knowledge flow to someone else rather than stagnating on your shelf. The just-in-case guest room and everything in it. The extra linens, the air mattress, the 10 extra pillows, the fancy plates we only use for company. We dedicate huge portions of our homes to people who do not live there. We design our homes for the exception, not the rule. We worry. What if everyone comes over for Christmas? Well, how often does that happen? Once a year, once every 2 years. Meanwhile, for the other 364 days, you are navigating around a pile of bedding and a room you can't use. You are paying rent or mortgage on a room that is essentially a shrine to hypothetical visitors. This stems from a deep need to please a fear of being a bad host. We prioritize the comfort of a theoretical guest over the daily comfort of the people who actually pay the bills. The hard truth is that true hospitality is about connection, not thread count. Your friends come to see you, not your china pattern. If you have so many guest items that you can't enjoy your own home, you have crossed the line from hospitable to burden. Ask yourself, are you living in your house or are you maintaining a bed and breakfast that never has any customers? The swap is the real-life priority. Design your home for what you do 90% of the time. If you need extra chairs once a year, rent them or borrow them. Reclaim that space for your yoga, your office, or your reading nook. The freebie hoard. This is the insidious clutter. The hotel shampoos, the cosmetic samples, the swag bag pins, the branded tote bags. We take them because they are free. Our brain screams value resource, take it. This is the scarcity mindset at its absolute lowest frequency. We treat these items as if they are gold simply because we didn't pay for them. But free is a price. The price is the space it takes up. The price is the visual clutter. The price is the mental energy required to organize 50 tiny bottles of lotion you will never use because you actually prefer your regular brand. We stash them in the bathroom just in case we run out or just in case we travel. But when we travel, we stay at hotels that have soap. The hard truth is that these items are trash that hasn't hit the bin yet. They are marketing materials that have invaded your home. By keeping them, you are acting as a landfill for corporations. You are valuing a 50-cent sample over the serenity of a clear bathroom counter. Here is the question. If this item wasn't free, would you have paid money for it? If the answer is no, get it out of your house. The swap is the zero-entry policy. Stop taking the freebies. Leave the soap at the hotel. Say no to the swag bag. The most powerful tool against clutter is the word no. I know that listening to this might feel overwhelming. It might feel like I'm attacking your safety net. And in a way I am, but I am attacking the net because I want you to realize that you can fly without it. This is not about minimalism for the sake of aesthetics. I don't care if you have white walls and one chair. This is about reclaiming your agency. Every item you keep just in case is a vote of no confidence in your future self. It is a wager that you will not be smart enough, rich enough, or capable enough to handle a problem when it arises. The journey to letting go is not about deprivation. It is about trust. It is about trusting that if you need a cable in 5 years, you will be able to get one. It is about trusting that if you have a surprise guest, you will figure it out. It is about trusting that you, your mind, your resilience, your creativity are the ultimate asset, not the stuff in the cardboard boxes. So here is my challenge to you for this week. Pick one category we talked about. Just one. Go to that drawer, that closet, or that box. Open it and look at those items not as useful things, but as fears solidified. Pick one up and ask, does this serve my life or does it serve my anxiety? and then let it go. Because here is the secret that the advertisers and your scarcity brain don't want you to know. You don't need more stuff to be safe. You just need to believe in your ability to figure it out. Stop preparing for a life you might live and start making room for the life you are living right now.